So for starters, if you are a C student, don't watch this video. So 1 in every 7 students in school should skip a grade, which is actually quite significant when you think about it. Let's say we have a standard classroom, 21 to 27 students. About 3 to 4 of them should be skipping a grade, and 1 in every 200 students should be skipping 2 grades, which that one isn't so important, but the 1 in 7 one really is, because school has definitely gotten a lot easier over the years because of No Child Left Behind, or as I like to call it, Every Child Left Behind. And it made school a lot easier than it used to be. Like compared to 40 years ago, getting straight A's isn't a great accomplishment anymore. Like 66% of the people are getting straight A's now. Colleges don't care about that anymore. And you know what made me start on this journey of skipping a bunch of grades and all that? What started that was I was doing online schooling. My dad was looking at my work and then going, wow, this is really easy. And I'm just like, I've been doing this for the past 7 years. This is pretty normal stuff. It's always been this easy. And that's what started with all the skipping grade stuff. Because school was just so easy, and I was obviously able to do a lot better than that. So, why do schools hold back so many kids? The reason why is because there is no incentive for them to skip the people who should be ahead. In fact, they actually would much rather not do it, because here's the thing. For all those smart kids, the teachers don't have to put any effort into them. They don't have to teach them. The kids just do really well on their own, and they get really high test scores, which makes the school look a lot better than they actually are. But let's say you were to skip them up 1 or 2 grades, then you actually have to put effort into them. They wouldn't be able to get all straight A's with no effort at all, and then the school wouldn't be able to look like it's a lot better than it actually was, because these kids are on the level that they should be at. Which is why they don't want you to skip ahead, and they will discourage you from skipping ahead. You're doing great just how you are doing right now. You don't need to skip a bunch of grades. Don't believe that stuff. If you do think you can skip a grade and you feel that the tests are easy, you should definitely skip grades. With that being said, I want to go over some of the few ways that I've skipped grades. So the number 1 is testing out normally, and this will mostly be done through middle school. It gets a lot harder in high school. But as for skipping out normally, so you just test out of it basically. You take a test that covers the material you would have learned in the course, and if you're able to pass that test, you get the credit for the grade. Or not with middle school, you want to get the credit, but you don't have to take the course anymore. There you go, on to the next one. So testing out is the most simple out of the ones. Take the test, get your credit, there we go. The next one is CLEP testing and AP testing. I guess I'll go over AP testing first because it's a lot more strict. AP testing can be done 2 times a year, and you take the AP course, you take the AP test again, and then you get the AP credit. You know, very similar story to the testing out before, but these tests generally will be harder than your normal testing out thing, and it will be done with AP courses. But the more interesting thing is actually the CLEP testing, because you see, these CLEP tests are actually getting you college credit, and they will also get you the high school credit for said course, which means you're actually getting really good value there. You're getting the college credits, and then you're also getting high school credits. Is a real sweet deal. But the CLEP tests are really difficult tests. These tests are meant to be as difficult as they possibly can. They're not like with all your other tests you take in school, where they try to keep it generally easy so that everyone can do good on it, and then it creates the illusion that the school is better than it actually is. Those CLEP tests aren't going to be trying to be on your side. They have some of the tough questions. You probably won't have many freebie questions, if any at all, in the CLEP testing, but it is a great reward if you are able to pass them, and is also a lot more generous, to say the least, than AP testing. For example, with AP testing, we had a case where the internet went bad on the school side, not the students' side, the school and the issue, and about half the students failed due to it, and they wasted their time doing it, they weren't able to get the credit, and they used up one of their 2 attempts. Because with AP testing, you only get 2 attempts to pass it. After that, you're done. CLEP testing, you do actually technically have a limited amount of times you can do it, but you can do one of each CLEP test approximately 4 times a year, because if you were to fail the test, you would have to wait 3 months before you're able to take it. It's not 3 months until you're able to take another CLEP test, it's just 3 months where you're able to take that one CLEP test you failed. So you could do every single CLEP test 4 times a year. And if you were to start going A, eventually you probably pass one of them by sheer luck. But again, I don't think the 3 months thing is that big an issue because you should be spending that 3 months to study anyways. So I think that's perfectly fine with the CLEP testing. And also, it's not like you have 4 specific times of the year you can test like the AP testing. CLEP testing is a lot more lenient on when you can schedule it. For example, where I live, you can schedule it 8 to 12 every Tuesday, which is very nice, instead of, 2 times a year when you can take a test. That's it. And then we have the last 2 ways, which is either an additional online course or summer schooling. So, for example, for summer schooling, I took quite a few of them. I did algebra, I did biology. I did those 2 and was able to do it very quickly and get the credit for both of those courses. And again, it is generally quicker, and here's the magic part about it, these courses, is to go at your own pace. This go at your own pace thing is extremely valuable and extremely useful for me, because it means I'm able to go at my own pace and go ahead way faster than I'd normally be restricted otherwise. So these courses, you usually have to buy these courses, but they do tend to be fairly quick, and you can get your credit for them fairly quickly. And then we have another thing, which is just online schooling. Now, from my experience, like just the last 6 months from online schooling, I can say it is a lot better than public schooling. Actually, the online schooling is technically public schooling. It is public schooling just like the online. It is publicly funded by the government just like on your normal public school. But there is one main difference between the 2, and that is with public schooling, it's more or less entirely ran by Democrats. But with online schooling, it's ran by both Democrats and Republicans, and I'll get into the significance of that after this one quick point. Anyways, so besides being able to do these courses a lot faster and being able to go at my own pace, I was also able to take my extra credit courses, or not extra credit, but my extracurricular courses were a lot more useful. Like you've heard people complain about, why isn't school teaching me how to do my taxes and stuff like that? And in my case, I'm actually taking financial math and principles of business and video game design, so I actually am learning how to do my taxes in school. So I'm actually learning useful stuff with these extra courses, which is really nice, and I'm also getting credit for them as my extracurricular activities or whatever for it. As compared to whatever else useless activity I was going to be doing otherwise in school. And also, this schooling is a lot less liberal. Because in your normal public schooling, it is very liberal, very democratic, because most of the teachers are liberals, and because they just didn't do that well in life and they ended up becoming teachers, and you end up with a bunch of liberal stuff. Like, for example, my math class started talking about how I have to help the homeless instead of, math. Which, again, you're spending 180 hours in public schooling, but most of that ended up getting wasted on liberal indoctrination instead of actual education. Which is one of the things I've been liking a lot about the schooling I'm doing now, is that it's not political. Because you have to whenever Republicans start going that trickle-down economics is Jesus or whatever, the Democrats come in and stop that. And whenever the Democrats start going government is Jesus or whatever, the Republicans comes in and stop that. So you end up with a balanced course where you don't end up with a bunch of liberal stuff and you don't end up with a bunch of Republican stuff, you just end up with schooling education designed to teach you stuff. And I think the best way to end this is to start with the same way we started. The education system does not care about you. For all the smart kids, all they see you is as a test score number that makes them look better than they are. That's all they see you as. And they also see you as someone that they need to indoctrinate with their social liberal agenda. So, yeah, you should definitely skip grades if you can. And for example, I skipped 2 grades, and on my online courses right now, I had to take up about 6 hours of the teacher's time to teach me about stuff I understand. So the schools wanted to hold me back to avoid 3 hours of effort a year, which really just goes to show how little they care about the students. So, again, it really is just evil in my opinion. But that's the way it is.